Doing the best. Nope. Sweating. This is staying right back in a ponytail. Ow, ow.
Hey there, Faith.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Hey, I don't know where that code that Maurice gave me, I don't have it anymore. The the redemption code that she's talking about.
We have it we should have it on one of our spreadsheets somewhere.
Yeah, because when he told me to change my password last week, that's when I got rid of it. I must have got rid of it and put the new password in there. Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah. Nobody's here.
Look that up. Huh?
I says nobody's here.
I know. Maurice is here. He's just hiding his face right now.
Maurice, why are you hiding?
He must be doing something.
I wasn't going to even share my blackberries with him. Yeah, can we get together sometime about the video?
Sure. Have you watched any of the sample ones yet?
No. Teaching has been keeping me too busy.
I know. I understand because I'm busy too. I'm trying to get other stuff done and I cannot.
I know.
But there are like 5 or 6 sample videos on Google Classroom, and there is a rubric that'll kind of guide you through like things that you should have in there if they apply to your business.
Okay, I'll take a look at it.
And I mean, even if like after that, you still want to meet about it, that's fine.
Okay.
But those should give you like at least some direction of what you should be saying.
Okay, sounds good.
So I think we talked about it in yesterday's class. We'll probably talk about it again today. Your pitch should be about 3 minutes. It could be anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes long. Doesn't have to be 5 minutes. As long as it's like about around 3, you're good. And I think next week is when we actually start going, when I would try to get like a rough draft of your pitch going for next week. Because that's when we'll have people here to actually help you and be like, you should add this or change this or do this.
Okay. Okay.
Then we can go from there.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. No, everybody always jumps on the last minute anyways.
I know.
It's just how it goes.
We're getting towards the end. They probably think we're done.
Oh, you know what I did not do that I normally do? I usually send out a calendar appointment, and I did not do that this week. But they still should know you have the
They still
calendar.
should know, yeah, because Maurice announced how many other meetings we have.
Yes, but for some reason, those calendar appointments have been doing a lot better job than when we didn't use them last year or last cohort.
Well,
Hey,
I got several people interested in the classes when you guys start over again.
they can put in their applications now because we're starting a new class in June, and that's gonna come real quick.
Oh, okay. Now, so you
So
want to
tell them to apply
application.
now.
Okay.
Hey, Rachel.
Hello.
Question. Were you on this? You were on the marketing boot camp the day that I did the social media thing, weren't you?
I don't.
You don't think you were? I thought you were, but I can't remember who was. You said you don't think you were?
I don't think I was, but that doesn't mean I don't remember or that.
No, that's good if you weren't, because then it's not like repeated information to you today. So
Okay.
there might be a couple of people. I think I had 2 yesterday that may have already heard it, but it's a little different. I'm going to go through the content a little bit quicker so that we have more time to actually do some Canva, which I know you don't really need help in that, because you're obviously graphic design, so you use it all the time. But once we're done like with that, then the second half, Maurice will come in and talk about copyright and ads and some other things. So you'll learn more the second half. That's why when you told me today you missed, I was like, oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you'll actually learn. I mean, I'm sure you'll pick up something from me, but you probably learn more from Maurice
It's good to
because
have
you use
review.
Canva.
It might be stuff that I don't know that Canva's doing that I don't know yet. So
I know, because they're always changing. Like, I wish they would just stop because those old people can't keep up.
Right.
I tell it to Maurice all the time. He's always like trying to, let's use this software. And I'm like, what? Like, can we just use the ones that I already know how to use?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm always on like brain overload with him.
Yeah, I totally get that. Totally get that.
He's still young and I am not. And I'm not used to teaching classes, guys. So if I seem nervous, it's because I am. Maurice makes me do this. I don't like to. I just like to be the person every once in a while, say something and then hide my face. And this is a much bigger class than our other class. Our other class is kind of small. I actually did my hair today, but I'm so hot. I just pulled it back. I was like, I don't care. I'm like, so much for actually doing it.
It is what it is. Yep, it is what it is.
I was like, I really did look decent earlier.
Sometimes you just got to get comfortable.
I try to be like that most days, so
Yeah.
I'll be glad I don't have to worry about it like at all. I rarely ever wear jeans anymore or dress up.
Yeah, since I'm teaching from home, I just always put on a decent top and say that's it.
Right. And make sure your hair is at least combed.
Exactly.
I rarely ever put makeup on anymore. I never did like that anyways, but I really don't now.
Well, I don't anymore since I'm into the all natural products and making my own hair stuff and all that stuff. I don't worry with that mess.
Oh, you do that.
Uh-huh. I make my own hair products. I make my daughter and I make our own body lotions and stuff.
It's better for you,
It
honestly,
is,
because
because
you
I
at
know
least you know
exactly
what's
what,
going into it.
and you know, my daughter had this, I don't know, you would call it a cyst or something on her wrist for many years.
Uh-huh.
While making that homemade body lotion and salt scrub, it disappeared on its own. It just went away. It's been there for years.
It was probably something that she was allergic
I
to,
know.
maybe.
I'm just like, okay.
Because I've been getting a lot of stuff. I don't, well, yeah, you know who Marcy is. She
Yeah,
kind of does the
Marsha.
same thing. I was getting stuff from her, but then like she hasn't been like getting the stuff to me. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to find somebody else.
Yeah, she's Marcy's entrepreneur all the way around.
She is doing a lot of things. I bought like most of my earrings and stuff that well, when I wear them now, I bought a lot of them from her.
Yeah, she would tell me, you need to wear earrings. And I'm like, I'm allergic to them all. I can't wear them. Got
Oh, that
pierced ears and
sucks.
I can't wear them, any of them.
That's about the only thing jewelry I wear.
Mhm. No, but she brought me a beautiful pair of pearls.
Yeah. I like her more simple stuff. Some of her stuff can be a little bit
Guarding.
yeah, or just too
Yeah,
exotic for me.
yeah.
I'm more conservative.
That's what I'm saying. I said she can carry that off, but that's not me.
It's not
You
me
know.
either because I don't like that kind of
I
attention.
mean, the pearls I bought from her, I bought them to support her business, but it's something I probably never wear.
Right.
But she's got a pretty creative mind.
She does.
I saw, how's the work going with the district?
It's going all right.
Uh,
It's doing all right.
we just started a book club. It's called Despite the Best Intentions. You ever heard that book?
No.
It's about, it examines the policies and procedures of your school and how they discriminate against other kids. You created them with the best intention, but in reality, when you look at them, they're not fair practice. Yeah,
Oh, what's that called?
it's called Despite the Best Intentions.
Despite the best intentions, I'll definitely look into
Yeah,
that.
our book study just started tonight. So we got one 3 nights a week.
Oh,
We got 3 groups. I mean, we got 3 different groups. So we got 3 nights.
but you don't have to participate in all 3 nights.
No, just one. It's just that we got 100 and some participants. So we broke it up into 3 groups.
That's a good turnout.
Yeah. I am so happy, Faith, that I'm retiring.
That you said that you're retiring?
Yeah, this is my last year.
I bet you are.
Yeah.
Kudos to you because I couldn't work with kids.
Oh my.
I had 4 of my own and that was enough.
Man.
I don't have the patience.
It takes a lot.
It
does
does.
take a lot of patience.
And if I were to work with kids, I definitely couldn't do younger ones. I would have to do like teenagers.
Oh, I can't do those younger ones.
Mm-mm.
And I don't want to do middle school because those middle school kids, they're caught in that middle where they still want to be the kid, but they want to think they're grown at the same time.
And they do too much. Like
Mhm.
some of the stuff that I be hearing that they do, I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
So I like being in the high school.
Were you ever at McKinley?
I've been at Washington
Always
all
at
28
Wash?
years.
Okay.
The whole 28 years I've been at Washington.
Is I?
So, okay. I graduated in 96.
I know you, Faith.
Were you there when I was there?
I started in 1991.
Yeah, you were. Because that's when I started high school.
Mhm. You was in Miss Arkett's class.
I don't even remember that name.
Yeah, Cheryl Arkett.
That was so
Yeah.
long ago, Lord.
It was. Matter of fact, I was just telling somebody about you the other night. What's a teacher? I says, you know, Faith. And they said, yeah. I says, Faith Robinson. I don't think that was her last name when we were in school. And,
Yeah, it was. And then my married
was?
name was Thomas, and then I went back to
Okay. So I
Robinson.
said, but anyway, I was telling them about you, and they're going, oh, yeah. I don't think they really remembered you. I think they were lying.
Probably.
But you were quiet in school. You were quiet.
But I was quiet, but those are the ones you gotta
I know, because I was quiet in
watch
school.
out
Those
for.
are the ones you have to watch.
Because I was the one that ended up pregnant as a senior. So my stuff was just, I didn't have my stuff out there in the open like the rest of the kids. I was still
Yeah, you
doing
were just
stuff.
quiet. Yeah, exactly. When I got pregnant in school, they would always say, but you are so quiet. Just because I don't tell you everything don't mean I'm not up to
Right.
something.
I mean, I was an honor. I mean, I know people were shocked because I was like an honor roll student. I was involved in stuff, and then I don't know what happened. Boys happened.
That's what happens.
Yep, they did.
And then the boys' parents will say, girls got in the way. Girls.
That's okay. It took me a while, and now I'm getting my life back together. Now that all my kids are leaving, thank
How old
God.
are
But
your
they
kids?
always come back.
How old are they? What's the ages?
20, I think Denzel is 25.
Mhm.
Either 24 or 25. That's really bad that I can't remember. And then the girls are 22, 21, and 17.
Oh, how many you got?
4.
4. Okay. The 17-year-old go to what school?
He goes to Wash.
Oh, okay. So I'm
Ariana
not there
Thomas.
anymore, so I don't know this
Oh, you're
year.
not. Oh, I guess you said you're at home.
Yeah.
But you still should know her. She's a junior. But she's pretty quiet though too. She played on the
What's her first
basketball
name?
team. Ariana Thomas.
Oh, I think she was in our world humanities class. Or was she in
Probably.
the perspectives class? One of them. Yeah.
Maurice, I don't know. We can go ahead and get started because it's like way past time. We can just start.
There's only a few of us here.
There really are. He said, fire it up. It's okay. We're just going to get started with just a few of us.
Okay.
So I am teaching tonight. We already, Sarah and Rachel know that. So take it easy on me. This isn't my jam. It's not. But I'm going to try to teach you like the basics of what I know for social media. So hopefully you'll be able to grab something that will help you. Don't worry if I go kind of quickly because we want to allow time for Maurice to do his copyright and ads at the end too. And all this information is already available to you on Google Classroom. We'll find the actual PowerPoint where I'm talking through it. It'll go over the same exact stuff. So if you miss something, you can always go back and watch it. No big deal.
Okay.
All right. So we are talking about social media tonight. And so what does social media help you to do? So it helps you to build your brand awareness. It increases your customer base and it connects you with current customers. They say that about 97% of small business owners and marketers are using social media marketing, and 57% of consumers think more highly of a business after seeing positive comments and praise online. So I think it's safe to say that social media is a must to effectively market your business. And for the most part, it should be free. Let me let Connie in. All right. So some of the things that I'll go over tonight will be a couple of the more popular social media platforms, and we'll talk about how to use them and what they're, how to use them to communicate and with current and potential customers. I'll go over the 10 posting commandments so that I'll just give you a basis of how and what to post. And then we'll talk about the ICEE rules of marketing and how to relate them to your social media content. When I'm done with this, we'll go into Canva and try to pull up a couple of, make a couple of posts together using Canva in some of these roles. So we'll work together to do that. So it won't just be me. And sorry if you can hear the trucks outside, but it is hot in here. I'm not closing my window.
Okay.
So we'll start out by talking about who is my audience. Let me share my PowerPoint with you so you don't have to stare at my face. This is the one we want. Nope, it's not. Here we go. Hold on, I'm on the wrong one. Okay. I already talked about that. All right. So who is my audience? So your target audience is going to be the most important aspect of your social media marketing strategy. So I'll give Ben as an example because he's not on this call today. He was on our call yesterday, and you guys should have gotten your directories. I don't know if you've been in Google Classrooms, but that directory of everybody should be in there. Contact information, phone number, and I think their business name. So Ben, he sells like herbal products. You know Ben, don't you? So Sarah.
Uh-huh.
So when I asked him, I said, so what is your goal? So you always have to have a goal with social media. And he was like, well, I just want everyone. Anytime you say everyone, don't ever use the word everyone when you're talking about who your audience is. And a lot of entrepreneurs make that mistake. You need to be very specific. It's like everyone that wants to better their health. Well, that's true. They could be your potential customer, but they're probably not all going to be your customer. But we'll go over why more later. So why is your audience important? Your audience is important because they'll influence your decisions about your content, what you're going to emphasize on, your organization, your style, and your tone. So there's a lot of questions that you need to answer to figure this out, and you won't figure this all out tonight. So let's talk about a few of the questions that you'll need to answer to figure out who your audience is if you haven't yet. So you need to know their demographics. What's their age, their location, their gender, their income, their education levels, or their occupation. Let me get rid of this screen because it's in my way. And if you have any questions, just stop me. Sometimes I get to talking too fast. If I am, just tell me to slow down. You'll also want to know their psychographics. So what are their attitudes, their values, their beliefs, their hobbies, their behaviors, and their lifestyle? A lot of people will just want to focus on the demographics, but the psychographics are just as important. You want to get into their minds and know what they're thinking and what it is that they want to know and hear about.
How do you figure out their psychographics when it comes to working with youth? So I have to look at the psychographic of the youth or the psychographic of the parent when it comes to education.
Maurice, were you talking? No, he wasn't. So he'll say different if he doesn't agree with us, but I would say I would say maybe both, but I would probably focus more on the parents because you're going to get to the kid. Wouldn't you get to the kids through the parents? Okay.
Yeah.
But you're going to want to know both because you'll be working with both. But when you're on social media, it's probably going to be the parents you're reaching out to, not the kids. So on social media, I would focus a lot on the parents.
Okay.
So we're not going to do this activity because we want to move this along. But normally what I would do is we would go through this and ask questions and have you write it down. We're going to skip that tonight because there's a lot of content to cover in the next 2 hours. And this just takes time. You're not going to figure it all out right away because of what I'm now a year and a half doing this. And I still don't know all the answers to this. If I had more time, I could probably spend more time getting to know my audience, which I still need to. But it's something that you kind of have to learn over time. You're not going to know it right away. You'll figure it out as you're working with your social media because you'll be able to see like what's working and what's not. And when you figure out that something's not working, then you'll be like, oh, I need to figure out what it is they really want to hear because your post will fall flat if it's not what they want. So not all social media is equal. So before you start an account on any platform, you're going to first need to know who your audience is. So get inside their minds and know where they would most likely hang out. There's no need to waste time making tweets if your customers aren't on Twitter. You need to be where they are. I don't know if any of you have been into Google Classrooms, but I put up a sheet with the 10 commandments that will show you the different platforms and what their end goal and objective is. So that will kind of help you narrow down which social media platforms you should start with. So that should help you if you need that. So once you know where they hang out, what is your end goal? What are you looking to achieve? So we'll start with you, Sarah. Like, what would be what is your end goal when it comes to your clients?
I want to make sure that I want to give students a sense of confidence, increase their confidence and their self-esteem so they can be successful in their future and planning for their futures.
Okay. So yes, that's part of it. At the end of the day, with your social media, what do you want them to do?
Oh, I want my audience, I want my parents to connect with us, to bring their child to us to work, that struggling child to work with us or to partner with us by donating money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So April, I'm going to call on you. What is your goal or something that you want to achieve with your social media? What is it that you want those customers to do?
So I'm hoping to create engagement with and kind of awareness of my brand.
Okay. Looks like Saul fell off.
Saul is here.
Saul, what's your end objective? When you think about social media, what is it that you want to do with social media? What is it that you want your customers to do or your clients?
I would say create engagement as well and begin to pull the layers back of people's mindset, society's mindset on diversity and inclusion, on how much it really is a lot deeper than just color barriers,
Right.
Gender barriers. It's humanity barriers. I'm starting to get, actually, as I'm pushing a little bit harder, I'm starting to learn a lot more about it myself as I'm trying to create this business and get it off the ground, on how I can be different. That's what I want. I want to show that not all diversity and inclusion training sessions, lectures are the same.
So if they wanted to get connected with you, how would they do that? Would it be through calling you? Do you want them to send you an email?
They can email me, connect with me on Indeed. LinkedIn. Call or email me. I'm still getting that stuff set up.
Okay. Sorry, it's starting to get dark in here. I'm gonna turn the light on in a minute. So when we talk about like what is your goal? So I'll use it, Empower for an example. Our goals are to build awareness, because even though there's more people that are starting to know us, we know there's still a huge community out there that has no idea that we even exist. So that is something that we focus on. And then also at the end of the day, we want them to know who we are, but we also want to get them to sign up for either our classes, any of our workshops, be a mentor or facilitator, anything. We just want them to connect with us. So at the end of the day, that's what our goal is. So everything that you do on social media should be making that person aware of you, building trust, and then getting them your call to action, which for us, it's signing up for our classes. For you, Saul, it would be just connecting with you and partnering with you. Same thing with you, Sarah. So everybody's end goal may be different, and maybe you could have a goal, you want 500 people by the end of the year. It doesn't even have to be that large of a scale. You can start out with something simple, but you want to have a goal with your social media. Otherwise, you're just throwing stuff out there. So everything you do, you want to build it around your goal with social media.
Yeah.
So what is a brand? A brand is more than simply a name, a term, a design, a symbol. A brand is also that recognizable feeling that your product or your business brings to mind when you hear that name and you see that logo. So brands create awareness about their products or service. Like that, like I said before, they provide that trust and provide easy action. This is what you should be looking to achieve through your social media. So then we will talk about different relationships require different approaches. So how do you think about, how do you talk to you like your best friends or your best boy versus your coworker, your boss? It's usually a little bit different. Now there's some gray area there because your friends also become, I mean, your coworkers also become your friends, but there's still usually some difference there between how you talk to them and how you talk to your best friend. It's not any different when it comes to the social media platforms. You can't talk to your customers the same way on Facebook as you would on Twitter because it's completely different. So each relationship is different and should be handled as such. It works the same, like I said, with each different network. So you'll have different relationships with each audience on each platform, and each one needs to be talked to differently. And each network or platform has its own purpose and its own language that they use. And you'll learn it as you start using it. So don't worry about that. So acknowledging this will help you to better understand how to use your social media for your business and which platforms will engage with your customers better. You should also be mindful of keeping your personal and your business accounts separate. I wouldn't suggest mixing the two because it just causes too many problems. And also just be mindful that just because you have separate accounts doesn't mean that people aren't going to go and search your personal page, because they do. Anytime I engage with the business and I see who that owner is, I'm going to their page because I want to see what they're talking about. If their values and stuff don't align with me in the way that I think, I'm probably not going to buy from them. And it's probably going to work the same way for you too.
Yeah.
It's best to avoid hot topics, but really, Saul, you can't really do that because
I
that's,
actually created a slogan about that.
yeah.
Yeah, I said diversity and inclusion is not a hot topic. It's a top pick for change.
Yeah. It's a
I like
topic that needs to be talked about. But
Yeah.
Absolutely.
depending
Ooh,
on
I'm
your
gonna add that.
business, sometimes you have to be careful about
He
that.
said he's going to add that needs to be talked about. Good job.
I'm gonna add that.
Okay. So, like, let's say like you're talking about political stuff, because we know that's rough right now. And when
Yeah.
you do that, you just remember, if you decide to do that, which you can, it's your business, but you could potentially cut off like potential customers. If you're okay with that, if that's something that you're passionate about, especially like with you, Saul, then don't worry about that. Maybe that's not your audience. Those are not the type of people that you need. But some people are like, money is green. It don't matter what color you are.
Exactly.
So if you're
Yeah.
that person, I would be kind of careful about the stuff that you're talking about, even on your
Yeah, and
personal page.
that's kind of like if we're both going after the Cedar Rapids school, we cannot be sitting here bad mouthing other school districts because they're going to take notice and figure out what are we saying about their districts.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely. So now we'll go over about four of the some of the more popular social media platforms. So let me get you guys off the screen so I can see this. So there is Facebook. There's Instagram, there's Twitter, there's LinkedIn, Snapchat, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, WhatsApp, Reddit, Google My Business, and there's a ton more. So I know it can be a little bit overwhelming when you think about all of these, but don't let it intimidate you. You don't have to use you've heard this before from other people that have been on there. You don't have to use every single platform. You figure out the ones that that will work best for your business and just use those. And even I would say, don't even try to do multiple ones. Start out with just one. Every business needs a Facebook. So I would suggest starting there unless you have something. I mean, you could start with Instagram. I think April would be a good one that you probably do need to be on Instagram. But if you can only handle like Facebook beginning, just stick with that and make sure that you learn how to do that first well, and then you can do it consistently. And then when you have more time, then move on to something else. You don't have to take them all on at the same time. So I'll talk about myself. it's just me and Maurice that are running this program, and I do the social media, but I only focus on Facebook. We know that we need to be on Instagram, we need to be on LinkedIn, but I just don't have the time to do that. They would have to give me more hours and more pay to do that. So do what and the point of that is do what you can. So Facebook is what I can handle. I do it Monday through Friday. I don't worry about the weekends, but you don't even have to do it every day. Whatever amount that you pick, if it's twice a week, stick with that. Because if you're all over the place and if people are coming like looking for you and you're not there when they expect you to be, they're going to forget about you.
Yeah.
And that's what you don't want to happen. So with social media, more is not better. You want quality content. So if that means you can only do one platform, stick with that until you can do more or be able to hire somebody to handle that for you. They may be me later. Not right now, but so let's start with Facebook. Facebook is the largest social media platform out there. These numbers that I'm going to give you, they're a little bit off. They shouldn't be too off. They're about a year old, but it'll give you a pretty good idea. There's about 2 billion active monthly users on Facebook. 65 million businesses have a Facebook page, and there's 6 million advertisers promoting their business on Facebook. I think that the age thing is changing a little bit. The average age of the user is said to be 40 years old. So my 17-year-old used to say that only old people use Facebook, but now she actually has a Facebook page and she uses it. And I talk about her every time she does. Like, I thought it was for old people. But here you are referred to as a friend. So you are, the content here is pretty relaxed. You can use text, video, lives, pictures, whatever you want. But you are expected to be relational and friendly. People want to see that you are authentic. So for business use, you can also use Facebook as a place to share your company news. You definitely want to be sharing stuff about yourself. I know some people don't like to brag about yourself, but you kind of have to. Don't do it all the time. But people want to know, like, company news, like any awards that you've received, anything like that, any accreditations, put that stuff up. People want to know that, and it builds your credibility and helps them to build trust in your business.
How do you do that with your new business though, Bill? Put your accomplishments up there, because you really I haven't accomplished anything yet.
Not yet. So you're really going to probably want to focus on awareness. You need to tell people, like, we'll kind of go over this later too. You need to tell them about you, your why. That's really important. People want to know your why. They want to know your story. So find some way to connect with them emotionally. Tell them about what you do. Even stupid stuff like, you may think that, okay, me and Maurice will have like these sessions where we do these, I forget what they're called, idea boards. Like one day we just recorded it and I let him talk about it. Maybe it was like maybe 10 seconds. Throw that up on your stories. People eat that stuff up. You think it's boring, but they want to know what you're doing.
Oh, okay.
And it's not boring to them. So I'd say company news, your accomplishments, any updates, offers and promotions, other industry news. So it may not have to do with your particular business, but share stuff that's going on with businesses around you that are like you. You'll also want to share things like your culture and your values. But like I said, your audience, they want you to be authentic, relational, and friendly. They do want to see behind the scenes, see what you do daily. So give them what they want. And again, through text, video, lives, pictures, whatever it is that you need to use on Facebook, use it. It'll let you put it on there. So then there is Twitter. There are 326 million active monthly users. The average age here is 18 to 29. They tend to have higher education levels and higher disposable incomes on Twitter. Here you're referred to as a follower, not a friend. And you're wanting to raise your brand awareness, engage audience opinions. So you can do that through text, polls, GIFs, videos, links. I believe you have about 280 characters per tweet, where Facebook is pretty unlimited. you don't really want to make your Facebook post too long unless it's something that's really good information or a really good story, because most people aren't going to read a ton of text. But you can use longer text in Facebook than you can these other platforms. And here, customer service is key. So if somebody makes a negative comment, you better respond to it. You should respond to the positive too, but especially the negative, because on Twitter, like it'll spread like wildfire. On Twitter, there people are recommending businesses and the stuff that they use. So that's really important. If you get negative reviews, that you need to respond to that. So customer service is key. And then there's Instagram. There's 1 billion monthly users. They're under the Facebook empire. So if you use Creator Studio, which we'll talk a little bit about, but not much, you're able to post Facebook and Instagram posts, schedule them together on Creator Studio. The average age of the user here is 25 to 34. You're also referred to as a follower. Photography, video, and hashtags are king here. So visual appeal is king. So I don't know if you know this, I'm sure Rachel does, but when Instagram started, it was for photographers. So that's why everything is centered around visual appeal. And you're also able to shop directly from the platform, where necessarily Facebook, you can't do that. And then there is TikTok. There's about 500 million monthly active users. I'm sure that number has gone up within the last year, because now it used to be mainly a kids thing. It's not that anymore. You see so many adults on there. I watch it. I'm not going to make a TikTok. My kid tries to get me to, and I'm like, no. But some people do. The average user spends about 52 minutes per day. I think it's probably more than that. My daughter stays on it like all day long. What are you doing? TikTok? Oh, okay. So the average age of the user here is 16 to 24. I believe that's expanding because now adults are using it. Again, you're a follower. You can set these 15-second clips, I believe up to 60 seconds. I think it is. I don't know. I don't use it. So like it's like lip syncing gone crazy. So here, creativity is key. If that's not your strong suit, I wouldn't use this. So, because it's going to be a bunch of memes. If you've ever watched them, challenges, dances, skits, that's not me. So you probably would never see me on there unless I'm just being silly with my friends or kids. But if that's where your audience is at, you're going to have to be there. So I'm going to stop for a minute because it is really dark in here and you guys probably cannot see my face. So I'm going to turn the light on. Okay, whatever. This light is barely turning on, so I'm sorry, guys. I'm not at home and I don't know how to turn this light on all the way. But we're gonna make it work. All right, so you may, like right now, you might be saying, now what? So we've talked about some of the basics between the few platforms. And what do you do with that? What do you do with that information? And how do you know which ones to use for your business? So you're gonna wanna spend time outside of class, just Googling how to find your target audience. And also on Google Classroom, like I said, there's that form that will tell you the different platforms and what their end goal is. And if it matches your goal, that's probably where you're going to want to be and where your audience is at. So that should help you. So you also want to look up other social media platforms and find out who they're geared towards and what kind of content functions best on that platform. And also, what is that platform's main demographics and psychographics? And if they line up with your customer, that's where you're going to want to be. Make sure it's a platform that you can remain consistent in and it's where your audience hangs out. So I'll go through these kind of quickly because you have access to all of this information too. So we're going to go over the 10 commandments of social media. So the first commandment is give your followers a reason to engage. So the point is to get them to stop scrolling because you have tons of competition on there and you're constantly scrolling. There's got to be something that stands out to make you stop and look at somebody's post. So a lot of small business owners struggle with not knowing what or how to post on social media. You want to provide engaging content, and that can be one of the hardest things for a small business owner to grasp. Like sometimes that still is an issue for me. So it's just something you kind of have to learn over time. But the more research you do, the better off you're going to be. When I started, I was just throwing stuff out there. And a lot of times it would just fall flat. Sometimes it still does, but I'm getting better at figuring out what our audience wants to see. And if you use Creator Studio or something like that, it's able to give you analytics over time. You'll be able to see your Facebook posts and see how much engagement it has. If it doesn't have any, maybe you want to stop doing those kind of posts, and the stuff that is getting you likes and engagements and comments and shares, do more stuff like that. Recreate that stuff that's doing well for you. So your main goal should be to create traction and engagement with your social media. So the second commandment is be positive. Give your follower, this is not it. Hold on a minute. Think positive. Always use language that is positive and inviting. Studies show that positive language creates longer conversations better than negative language. And this doesn't just apply to face-to-face conversations. It applies to social media too, because social media is basically conversations. So commandment number 3 is keep it simple, silly. So remember that long posts usually aren't going to get much engagement. So try to keep your posts limited to what you see on the cheat sheet. So Facebook, they say 40 to 80 characters. Sometimes you can go beyond that if it's something that's really good and that you're passionate about. Twitter, that's wrong. It's 280 characters. LinkedIn is about 60 characters. If you're going to make a YouTube video or any type of video, about 3 minutes. Because after 3 minutes, people kind of get disengaged and drop off. I know I do. I have a short attention span. And if you're going to do a blog, about 1,600 words per blog. Commandment number 4 is have a conversation. This can be difficult because you're missing that face-to-face interaction, but interactions can still be real on social media. So I said this last night. Maurice may disagree with me, but don't always think headlines, but he'll tell you a way when he gets to his part that it doesn't have to come off as a headline, but there's a way you can do things and word things that it still has the same effect. So in that first line, you need to say something that is going to catch their attention. So it is kind of like a headline, because when you read the news, you're going to focus on that headline and usually you're going to skim through the rest of it. What you want to see, the main point of that of the news is going to be right there in the headline in those first couple of lines. Otherwise, you're not going to keep reading if you're not interested after that. Same thing with social media. So you can ask questions. I see a lot of people that ask questions to people, and they get lots of engagement. So it could be something as simple as, would you start a business with your best friend? Why or why not? What's your favorite eco-friendly product? Or like Sarah, what's a question that you would ask parents that has something to do with what you do? Doesn't have to be something directly about your business. But what's a question that you would ask people on social media? So let's say you're talking to parents. So what is a question that you would want to know?
I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know.
So maybe Wesley, I don't know. He sells hot dogs. So maybe a question would be, Do you like a Chicago hot dog? Which do you like better? Do you like a Chicago hot dog better than a New York hot dog?
Oh, I will start the conversation by saying something like, um, is your child struggling in school?
Right.
You know.
I think a good question for Wesley would be, do you know where your dog has been?
That's slick. That's slick.
Say that one more time, because it's like echoing really bad.
I don't know why it's echoing. The question
gotta
is,
mute
where your dog has been, because he talks about like he knows where he gets his stuff. He gets it from the actual Chicago.
Yeah,
And talk about like he knows where his stuff is from.
that's a good one.
Okay, April, you have to come up with one for me.
Did you hear that, Wesley? He's probably working right now. Okay.
I'm listening.
Okay.
We just got to we got to add gas to this generator. We just ran out of gas.
I figured you were working, but she said something about a question
Do you
could
know where
ask
your
that
dog
would be-
has been?
Right.
Yes.
Uh-huh. And is it really all beef? That's the
Right.
question, because a lot of people, they say they doing the Chicago dogs, but they be having all type of different, might have Oscar Mayer dogs up in the thing. You never know.
Exactly.
Can't do it. Okay, so rule number 6 is you're going to want to know how to curate. Does anybody know what curation is? So curation is basically you're gathering information from third parties. So this is important because this can help you with your social media when you can't think of things to put up. And this is something that you want to do. So content curation involves gathering and sharing content from third parties, like I said. While this may not necessarily be about your business, it'll drive traffic to your page and it'll position you to be known as a destination for newsworthy information. It makes you look like an authority, and it also will improve your SEO, which we've talked about before with the GoDaddy people, and that's important. So just be sure when you're sharing information about a different business or you're sharing an article, don't just post it and not say anything. You need to add your spin to it. Like, what are your thoughts about it? Explain what the article is. Say something that you're thinking that will make your people read the article. Because if you just share the article or whatever it is you're sharing and it's not yours, people probably aren't going to click on it.
Number 5, I'm sorry.
What was number 5?
I
didn't do that, did I? Let me go back to this. I stopped on it and then I moved on. So 5 is it shareable? Is your post shareable? Would you share the post? So when you're looking at your post, would you share your post if it came up on your news feed? If not, you probably need to change it. And not everything you post is going to be shareable, but a lot of your stuff, you want to make it so that somebody's going to share it. That is going to be one of your goals on Facebook, because likes are great, comments are great, but if people share your story or your social media, that does wonders for the algorithm of social media. It sucks, but it does. So shares are like the star, they're gold. So, and do you know your audience, what your audience likes and what are their interests? So posts should be aimed at your audience. And if you don't know them, you're not going to know what to post and what will engage them. So that competition for your audience is pretty fierce out on social media because everybody's on it. So we talked about 6. Let's move on to 7. I'm going way slow. So what is the 411? So this isn't a like set in stone rule, but just to help you get started, because I don't really follow this, but I'm going to teach it to you so they can at least get you started. So out of every 6 social media posts that you create, maybe 4 should be pulled from third-party resources. So you're curating, you're pulling from other news that would be relevant to your business or what's important to you. And then 1 should be one that you create yourself, and you can do that using Canva, words don't do so well. So you're going to always want to put like a video or image. You can sometimes do just words, but people don't respond too well to just words unless it's something that is important, really important to them. And one post should promote your business. So again, you're not going to want to be promoting your business every day or even most of the time. So more of your posts should be centered around other things. And then one post a week, talk about yourself, promote your products, your business, whatever. I need to do a better job of promoting Empower and like what we're doing and who we are. So that's something that I have to go back to doing, is making sure that I'm talking about the program and talking about the people that are involved in the program. And number 8 is keep it timely. So time does matter. When you're reading the news or you're watching the news, you want that news to be relevant. It's the same thing with social media. You want to be checking the stuff that you're sharing, you're talking about. You don't want to be talking about old news, because people have moved on from that and they want to hear about new stuff or stuff that's relevant at the time. So just make sure that you're paying attention to stuff like that. You should also make sure that you're knowledgeable about what's going on around you and in your city and in your industry. And share your thoughts on events that are happening around you. And holidays are an easy way to create simple posts. So like when you have Christmas, you have Thanksgiving, you can go into Canva, they already have stuff made up. Throw up an image. You might want to change it around, add your logo, put a couple of words at the top of your post, happy Thanksgiving or whatever it is, whatever holiday it is. Those are simple posts that you can put up. Number 9 is use visuals. So you're going to want to use visuals, like I said, to enhance your message and to get people to stop scrolling. So the most successful social media posts include photos or videos. And your engagements, when you're using visuals, are going to increase by about at least 40% or more than if you're not using visuals. Number 10, commandment number 10, and the last one, is tell a story. Using storytelling as content is a powerful tool to you as a business owner. So tell your audience how your business began. They want to know those things. Storytelling creates strong messages that your audience can resonate with, and that helps them to remember you. That helps to bring you out of that crowd. So try not to share too much information that could hurt your business or break confidentiality, but you do want to be transparent. You do want people to get to know you. And this also helps to build relationships and helps to build trust with your audience. So remember that you're not just selling your business, you're selling yourself. So people want to know who you are, not just your business. So the next rule is the ICEE rule. So you're going to want to inspire your audience, you're going to want to connect, you're going to want to educate, and you're going to want to entertain people. So the I isn't for inspire. Does your story inspire people to change or want to be better? Because people always want to be inspired. That's what I look for when I go to social media. I want to learn stuff, I want to laugh, and I want inspiring messages to help me to be a better person. And people also want to connect with you and with each other on social media. So make sure that you're putting up posts that bring connection to your audience and to you. You also are going to want to educate your audience. Are you teaching them not just about your product, but are you teaching them about the industry itself? So again, you're not always going to want to be talking about yourself. And then the last one is entertain. Does it entertain your audience? So people want to be entertained on social media. So your posts don't always have to be about your business. You can put up funny stuff. Sometimes some of the craziest stuff and just funny posts that I put up, and I don't do it very often. I need to start doing it more often because I'm not always serious. Sometimes I go to social media, I want to laugh. And if you're not making me laugh, then I'm going to keep going. So it's okay to put stuff up that's funny. Just make sure that it's appropriate to your business. And so we are not going to do, actually, we are going to do this for just one moment. So this quote is pretty true today. So a brand, it is no longer what we tell the customer it is. So I'm older. So when I would see advertisements or things that would come up about businesses, they were telling you what to do. It's not like that anymore. Your consumers are telling each other what's important, and they are going to be telling you what's important. If you're not listening to them, then you're missing out big time on social media. So, and I used to do it. I was doing an internship with a social media marketing person, and she used to tell me all the time, because I would get real stressed out about my posts and spend way too much time on them. And she said, why are you stressed about creating your material? Because most people are sitting on the toilet reading your posts, and they're not going to be thinking about it 10 minutes later. So you don't have to spend a ton of time on your social media. Make sure that it's good content, but don't be wasting too much time putting your all into a post. So that is it. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Maurice, are you there?
Been here.
Okay. Did I do better tonight?
You did.
Guys, last night I was a mess. So he stopped me a lot last night. He didn't say anything. You got anything you want to add?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to go to Canva. If you don't have Canva yet, you need to get it. Because again, like I talked about, visuals are very important. So, and Canva's free. You don't have to use Canva. If there's someone else better that you use, go ahead. But Canva is pretty user-friendly. There are tutorials that are really short and to the point, and they're hands-on. They're not hard at all, because my attention span is short, and I was able to get through them, and I enjoyed actually doing it.
Can you
You said it
send
was
us that
Canva?
information in an email?
Huh?
Can you send me that information in an email?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's called Canva. And if you look it up, if you Google it, you can create a free account. If you have a nonprofit, you can get the pro version for free. The pro version, I'm not going to lie, it is worth spending. I think it's like $12 a month, maybe. It's worth it because you have access to way more. So some of the stuff you're seeing here, if you had just the free version, you might not have access to it. You get access to way more pictures and everything. So if it's something that you're going to be using, it's definitely worth thinking about actually paying for it if you're using it consistently. And we use it a lot. I think Maurice has kind of moved on to like Spark and other things, but I know how to use Canva, so I'm sticking with it for now. So
I use Designer.
Huh?
I use Designer.
Designer. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I found it.
So, and on here, you can pretty much do anything. You can do Instagram posts, you can do videos, you can create logos, you can create presentations, you can even use a Zoom virtual background. I know Sylvia's not on here tonight, but she uses one all the time. I don't know if she uses Zoom or something else. You guys can't see my screen, can you?
No.
I thought you could see this. Oh my God, let me go back so I can share my screen. Let's share the screen. So we'll just create like 2 posts because it is 7 o'clock and I want to give Maurice time to go over his stuff. But we'll just do this really quick. So I am not going to update it. So like I was saying over here, like when you're creating a post, you can do pretty much anything on here. You can make flyers, business cards, calendars, whatever you want, and you can order the stuff and Canva will make it for you and send it straight to you, or you can just download it and print it off yourself for free with a lot of the stuff. So I just want a Facebook post. You can make banners here for Facebook, pretty much everything. So, and I'm not a graphic designer, and this makes it very, nor do I want to be. So like, we'll start with, I like to do, especially like if I forgot to batch out social media. So I try to do at least 2 weeks at a time so that I don't have to worry about it, because when you're trying to do social media and putting up posts every day, and you have to think about that every day, that is very stressful. It's easier if you just plan out at least 2 weeks at a time. It's better if you do the whole month. And use some type of content calendar. HubSpot has one for free. There's tons of free ones out there. I use one that I paid for, but it's just because I like it, and she actually gives you like ideas of things to post. Find out what the national holidays are and find ones that you like and that are relevant to your business, and use that as a post for a day. It's super easy. And if it's something that people like if it's Taco Day, if it's Margarita Day, like people like to talk about that stuff. So those are easy posts. But inspiring posts like quotes are good ones too. So we'll just do one real quick here. So I'm just gonna pick a background here. And there's tons of stuff that you can choose from. I'm gonna do maybe an abstract one. I'm gonna pick like this, we'll do the state or whatever this is. This is pretty clean. With me, I don't like to do a whole lot. If you look at our social media, if I'm doing it, most of the stuff you're gonna see is gonna be pretty simple and pretty clean, because I don't want to spend a lot of time like making extravagant graphics. I just want it to look good and get the point, for people to get the point. So we'll just use this one because you can see on it. And if you're going to want to add text, there's text over here. You click on that. You can pick text in here that is already set up for you, or you can use your own. You're able to create branding kits in here. So if you're going to want to pick like fonts, only a couple of fonts that you're using, and use them on most all of your social media. You're going to want to use your colors. You can set that up in here too. So let's say we're adding a heading. One of our fonts is Oswald. So I'm going to keep it at that. Let me find a quote here real quick. So I'm going to look for inspiring quotes. I'm just going to pick something. So I'm gonna do act as if what you do makes a difference, because it does. So let me go back to Canva. Oh, it's not letting me click on it. So act like what you do, what did I say, matters?
Because it does. Let's do something short. And I don't know how to spell clearly, but you get the point. I'm not going to change it. I usually like to, if there's a lot of space, I usually like to make mine better. I'm going to change that because it is bugging me.
Easy reading.
So, and there's boxes here that will kind of help you know like where to put things. And if you go through the tutorials, it'll kind of help you with design like that. So I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. I don't really like that Oswald, so I'm gonna change to our other font, which is the Trochee. I tend to like that one better. And then I'm just gonna move it up, and then it'll help you to center it too. And then I would just either leave it like that, or you can go to uploads where it allows you to upload pictures and whatever you want in here. So you can see there's some of my stuff in there, and Grandma Millie, I loved her.
Yeah, I do too.
I use this to make some of my posts that I put on my page about her. Let me look for one of our logos. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff on here because we use this a lot. Where is it? Sorry, it's loading really slow. So there it is. And I'm just going to shrink that down because I don't want that to be the focus of my post. You can put it up in the corner, that wherever that you want it to be. I usually try to make it smaller and put it off in the corner somewhere so people know that, you know, it's still us, but that's not the focus of my post. Actually, I don't even like it there because it's too much going on. So that's probably better. And it can be something just as simple as this, or it can be as extravagant as, let's go back and see one of Maurice's.
Yeah.
He's a lot more creative when it comes to doing stuff like this. I just don't got the time. So if you follow him at all, you've seen his stuff. A lot of this right here is his stuff. It's not very hard to do this. It does take a little bit more time at first. You have to have some creativity, but it doesn't have to be stuff that creative. I did this. All I did, I pulled this picture up, put a circle around it, put Thrive It up in the corner. Took this one and just put our logo right there, because what's more important is the stuff that I'm talking about. It wasn't really the photo in there. So I'm going to stop right there. I don't know, Maurice, I want to give you enough time to talk about your stuff.
Yeah, thank you. Extravagant. I just want y'all to know, like, those graphics, they're really not that extravagant. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you how easy the extravagant stuff really is. She'd be tripping. Thomas, all your stuff's so elaborate. It's really not. If you unshare your screen,
okay, let me take it off.
You can leave it. So one of the things that I do in here as far as like content creation, I think I've shown you guys this before, but I'll create little videos, little explainer videos. Actually, Faye, scroll back up for me. You passed it. The one with the emoji
This
faces. Nope.
Oh, sorry.
The one with the emoji faces on it. I think it's How to Dominate Live. Scroll down just a little. Right there.
This one?
Yep. All right, now do me a favor and then play that video for me. It's like if you click the button and
right up here.
Play that. Yep.
It's not doing nothing.
It should.
Oh, here we go.
Here it is. Ooh, your stuff is slow.
Oh, I like that.
You say what?
I like that.
You guys can't hear it because she didn't share sound, but there's music in the background and there's some other stuff going on. So your sound's not shared, right? So they won't be able to hear it. Based on this video that you're seeing, how much time do you think I spent on this video? Just best guess.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop because I can hear it, but I can't hear you.
An hour, 30 minutes.
5 minutes.
Okay. Somebody else gave a guess. What was that?
I say about an hour.
Yeah, I heard you and Sarah. Who else?
I said 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was more like 5 minutes.
What?
Yeah, not even, to be honest, guys. Like maybe 5 minutes because I had to go and adjust the timing of each video to 7 seconds. But within a few minutes, I used the same framings for each one of the videos. So I already have the size. All the colors are the same for all the videos. So the text colors. The font's exactly the same. So all I do is I go in and I just search in the video files for keywords around that video. And then I find one that best fits or that looks the best based on the keyword. So I typed authentic. And this is the video that came up that I was like, oh, that's a pretty cute video. This one I typed intimacy. I dropped it in there, and this is the video that came up. And then I went back and altered the time so it was only 7 seconds. And so there's like, I don't know, 10 frames or something like that of 7 seconds. So it's super easy to do. It looks more complicated than what it really is. And then on the very back end, there's like a thing that says, hey, if you got value from this video, share it. That's the whole thing. And I can make 3 or 4 of these in an hour. I don't create the content. I go out and find blogs that have really good content, and I essentially reframe their content. And then when I post, I'll post something like, have you ever learned about so-and-so and so-and-so? Here's some information about it. And when people ask questions, I'll provide them the link to the blog. The only reason I don't provide the link to the blog in the post is because that depresses your reach doing external links.
Well, Maurice, I'm on Canva now. I promise I was paying attention. So do you look for a video in like, because I've done it with like actual pictures, but I've never done a video. So when you say that you did the video in there and you typed it in, I'm looking, it says Instagram, Facebook post, yada yada. How do you get to videos from there?
Yeah, hold on. I hijacked her share so I can show you.
I saw. It's fine.
All right. So there it is.
Actually, it says video right next to logo. So maybe I'm just not seeing it because I'm always on mobile.
Yeah. So you want to be careful because one of these, I don't remember what my pixels is. What my pixel setup is for this.
And mobile is a lot different than desktop.
Yeah, it's very different. I don't use mobile, so I couldn't help you navigate mobile even if I wanted to. But I believe what I did. Let me do it this way. It's been so long since I started from the beginning because I just used my same thing over and over again. I think what I did was I created a Facebook post and then just dropped video in there. That's what I think I did. Yeah, it is. So right here, let's say one.
And what, you just keep adding them to pages, and then how do you connect them?
Canva does that for you.
Oh, see guys, I don't even do all this. But maybe I will start since I'm seeing it's so easy.
Exactly.
And then what I would do, you guys, hold on, share sound. Over here, it has audio. So I jump in here and say, do something around joy. And I'll overlay some text over it.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That is super simple.
Oh,
That's the process, guys.
Okay. I have no excuse not to use this anymore.
Yes, none
That's
whatsoever.
what I said. It's really not as complex as she thinks it is.
But that's what I'm saying. This is like so super simple, and it makes you look like you know what you're doing.
Yes, it does. Thank you. Thank you. I stole this from another application that'll pretty much do it for you. But I didn't want to pay for the application. I can't even think of what the app is called. But you drop a blog post in a blog link into the application. Yeah, it is, Rachel. It's okay. It's okay to laugh. You drop a link into the app, and it will pull out the text lines that they believe are important, and then overlay them over a video, and then recommend video for you. So I'm just being cheap, and we already have Canva. And I was like, it don't take that long to drop some video files onto a Canvas thing and call it a day. Now that I understand what you're doing, I appreciate the idea, but I'm not going to pay you $50 a month to extract a link. I'd rather pay a freelancer a couple bucks to make this video. They charge me
Piper.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Whoever just said that, Piper.
He
That's
loves
a $5
Fiverr.
video.
Sorry, man. I'm yelling at my dog.
I might as well. That's a $5 video. I can get 25, 10 videos for that $50. You crazy? So yeah, that's the complicated part. The extravagance. Now there are some things that I have designed in here that just take a little more work. But nothing that I've ever designed do I believe is just well, that's not true. That's not true.
Exactly.
I've designed a couple of things that like are actually harder in Canva than what they seem, but it was just a little much. Like if you've ever seen our
oh, the networking flyer.
Yeah.
Or even our 3 pillars.
So this right here. This was harder than the video that I just showed y'all. This image was harder than the video I just showed y'all because it's like each one of the icons, each one of these pieces are individual graphics. So I have to lay them out, resize them, do all of that stuff to be able to get this.
And I'm not doing all that.
So that's what she means by extravagant. This was probably the other thing that I designed that was fairly complex, but this is like my vision board. So this is the other design that probably took a decent amount of time, but it took me 2 months to finish it. But it's not because it's hard; it's because of the activities that come before it.
Mm-hmm.
So don't let nothing that you see anybody designing in Canva is not that hard. There are some people that's killing the game on Canva. I'm not gonna kid you. I'm in a group and they talk about how to like make really complex effects on Canva. But most people, it's on Canva. It was easy. All right. So now that I've shared my content creation secret with you guys, I just saw everybody's face go, what? Trust me, I did the same thing when I saw that. I said, what? It's like, I'm gonna make some of these bad boys. What? There are other, you can do it pretty much with any video app. So if you're like me and like when you're creating content like this, I really like Canva's desktop, but I hate the mobile. So I won't design anything on Canva mobile. So I'll download another video app if I want to do this real quick on my app. I won't do it on Canva because I cannot do their mobile experience. So
the phone one is good just for like, you're away and you're like, oh crap, I forgot to put up a post. Just click on there.
I'm about to send somebody a design and I misspelled something. So I can change something real quick, but I'm not doing a whole design on my phone.
And I do designs on there all the time. That's like the thing I use.
There's stuff on there that they don't show you on the desktop. That's the one reason I like to look in there on the app.
There are some experiences that are different. Like when you go on to do Facebook designs, some of the animation comes up a little different. I'm pretty sure you can still get to it on desktop. You just have to know a little bit more what you're looking for versus the mobile shows you some different stuff that I think more mobile users are using. So, but the rest of this conversation is around your post structures or how you're driving engagement on a post. What I'm going to talk to you guys about, I went ahead and dropped the links in the Google Classroom. So you'll have some hard content to go over to explore this a little bit more. What I'm talking about tonight is copywriting. There is no way in the next half hour, 45 minutes, I'm going to be able to teach you everything you need to know about copywriting. At this point, what I'm hoping is that we can share with you a framework or structure that you can use that will improve your post quality or improve the way you think about how you structure the way you're writing or developing your content. That's what we're looking for. I want to help you discover something that you may need to dive, well, not may, you're going to need to dive deeper into if you're planning to leverage any type of ads and developing of any type of content on your own. If you're like, I'm going to pay everybody to do everything, then ignore me. Don't worry about it. But if you plan to write anything on your own, develop anything on your own, then you want to at least understand this because it's going to change things for you. Okay. So what am I talking about? So I'm going to share with you a framework here in just a second. But the reason why I keep calling it a framework and not a rule or anything like that is because it can be used to write a single post. It can be used to write what's called a sales letter. You can use it to write your brochures, your website, but you can also use it to develop a system of content. And so when you're leveraging this system or framework, it's really not geared towards any one thing. It's just saying, hey, when you're doing these things, this is kind of the direction you want to go in. So the framework is called AIDA, A-I-D-A. And so AIDA stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. And so again, it's a framework that copywriters have been using for, I don't even know how long. It's just been around. It's been here. And it helps to frame the way you go about developing the content. And so at the beginning, we can also think about it. We can stack AIDA up against a funnel. Does anyone remember me talking about sales funnels or marketing funnels? Okay, cool. Let me pull this back up because it will look very familiar. So we can stack AIDA against our funnel. And if you remember looking at the sales funnel or the marketing funnel, you're like, oh, this looks very familiar. Well, that's because, again, AIDA is a framework to move someone from the top of the funnel down to the bottom of the funnel. And so sometimes when we're thinking about funnels, the reason why I love AIDA and the framework of AIDA is because sometimes when we're thinking about funnels, we think like it's this big process. But when we look at AIDA, we can say, I can do this with a single post. So when I'm doing it, and we'll start on the post level because most of us are going to go off and we're going to write a Facebook post before we generate a webinar or before we finish our website. So we'll start with the Facebook post and give you a real example actually that our lovely Faith fell prey to the other day, and see kind of how that process works and kind of outline what that looked like. And talk a little bit about why I worded things or did things the way that I did them, so that you can get some of that and use it in your posting. So at the top of AIDA, obviously you want to grab the customer's attention. So before Faith said something like, you don't want something about the headlines, and she was like, well, Maurice is going to disagree with me. So a lot of times when we think about headlines, we think about like the stuff that we see on the newspaper, like, you know, man cross the street and lose his leg. Like, whoa. But realistically, when we think about headline for the sake of AIDA or for the sake of a Facebook post, the reason why I like thinking about it like a headline is that that's your first line. That's the first line of your post. It doesn't matter what you write in it or how you write it. The first line of your post is your headline. It's 9 times out of 10 the second thing that someone's going to see, and I say second, and I'll highlight the first in just a second, but it's the second thing that someone's going to see. And its only job, when you think about like how do I get someone to do what I want them to do, or buy or comment or like? The only job of the first line is to get someone to read the second line. That's it. That's its only function. And the only function of the second line is to get someone to read the third line, and so on and so forth. So when we're thinking about Ada, we know right away that, like, right away when we're posting, when we're writing, the goal is to grab the attention of the people that we're looking to post with. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of ways we can do that. We can do it very spam-like. We can be very big with our headlines and then not deliver. We've all seen it before. It's called clickbait. You know, it's like Chris Brown slaps his mom, and you click it and it's like 105 ways you can whiten your teeth. You're like, what this got to do with Chris Brown? This ain't got nothing to do with him. I came here for the gossip, and you talking about dental hygiene. And you just mad. You mad as hell. So we want to be careful when we're doing that, because yes, we can grab attention, but if we're not mindful of the attention that we're grabbing or that we're garnering, two things will happen. Number one, they're not the right customers, and so they won't convert. And number two, you erode the trust of the people that are watching. So it gets harder and harder to gain attention. When we're talking about social media specifically, attention is the currency that we play in. The reason why you post is because you want someone to comment. You want someone to like it. But you got to get their attention before you can do that. And so if you're posting a lot of garbage that's clickbaity, then you're going to erode the trust, and you're never going to be able to get the attention. So we want that initial attention grabbing headline to be valuable and insightful. We move our customer down. Sorry guys, my brother's standing in the doorway looking like a creep. We move our customer down to interest. And now he's buttering me up. He's talking about I'm watching the master. We move our customer down to interest. And then this is where we're really trying to excite or help the person become interested in our brand, product, service, offer, post, whatever it is that we're doing. And we can do this in many cases by providing some interesting twist, some interesting fact, whatever about the product, service, offering that we have. And again, I'm going to show you guys an example here in just a second and talk about what the sections of the post was, and show you like how long and short this stuff can be. It doesn't have to be, these don't have to be dissertations. They can be, snippets. Then we move, the customer client moves down to the desire phase. This is when they have a favorable feeling, or they're leaning more towards your specific offering. So if I had, 5 different makeups, I'm leaning towards Sephora. Now I'm in the desire phase for Sephora. And then finally, action. That's the part we like. It's when they do something good that we wanted them to do. So in the case of a post, that could be liking, commenting, sharing. It could be clicking on a link. It could be buying a product or service. All of those things can be actions when we talk about the ADA framework. Okay, so we've talked about the framework. Again, this is a really high level breakdown of what the framework is. And I'm going to show you guys a post that I wrote the other day. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not saying it's copyrighted magic, but it is leveraging the ADA framework, and it did get actions. So we want to think about those things and say, okay, this is what I want to do. And I'm going to show you how I can take someone from the actions that they took and lead them down a path that I would have wanted them to take. So some of you got, well, maybe not in this class. Last class, I had Faith and then one other person in our group that engaged with the post. All right. So here's the post. Again, I said it's the second thing. The top line is the second thing your customers will engage with. The first is the image. So the image serves the purpose of getting them to stop scrolling. Because realistically, if you think about when you're scrolling on Facebook or when you're going through Instagram, you don't go, oh, there's a big block of text. Let me stop. No, you don't do that. And if you do, you're one of the 1% that's like, oh, I'm just dying to read what Sally has to say on her rant. Most people are stopping because the image or video or something that is graphically appealing grabbed their attention. That can also include the fact that it's your picture or something like that. The graphical appeal got them to stop. So that's the first thing. So when you're thinking about your post, your images or your creative matters, but only for